الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. Now, okay, so we are class 24 of
26.
26. I think I messed it up.
Okay.
No, so and we're at the third point, which is the benefit that's extracted from the hadith that we went through. ثالثا ما يستفاد من الحديث. What is benefited from the hadith? من اجتهد في ذكر ربه حال يقظة وفقه الله في ذكره في جميع الأحوال. Whoever was diligent in striving to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while he's awake, then Allah will give him, bless him to be successful in remembering him in every situation. We gave examples of that, the importance of being used to praising Allah and exalting Allah and saying good things is that when things happen by surprise, may Allah protect us all from it, but like an accident or a slip, that a person who's used to saying, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, that when he's surprised with something, he says those kind of things. And the person that's not used to saying that, he says, wow, or says a cuss word, says, what happens? Is whatever you get your tongue used to doing. So if you get your tongue used to dhikr, you'll find yourself in any situation. Somebody says something, say, oh yeah, you heard that such and such happened? Class 26. You heard that such and such happened? Says, Subhanallah. Really? Allahu Akbar. And if you don't get used to it, you say, wow, dang, really? You say all those other statements that has no benefit in it, even if they're not sinful. But just imagine that you automatically remember Allah. Then you're going to get a reward because what you got yourself accustomed to doing. And that's a barakah, that's a big blessing. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أعجز الناس من عجز عن الدعاء. Right? He said it was narrated by Abu Hurairah that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the most disabled people are those who are unable to make supplication. Those who are unable to make supplication. You have people who are, we talked about tathabbut before, people that, and this is really dangerous. This is why Muslims have to be careful from yoga, because this is from Hinduism and Buddhism and like that. All of this reliance upon self and me, and I did it on my own, and all of this kind of attitude. Because what happens is that an individual's in a difficult situation, and he puts his trust upon himself. Whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make dua, لا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة العين. He used to say, oh Allah, do not leave me to my own vices for the blink of an eye. So you never want to be responsible for yourself. You always want to be under the direction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what happens is that the person that has that attitude, it's me, my ability, and what I can do, and I did this by myself. What happens? They get in a difficult situation and they don't ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his aid. Or they're not in a difficult situation, but they want to be raised to another status, and they don't ask Allah to raise them. I'm going to do this on my own. This is about me, on my own, and all of this attitude. No. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There's no might, power, strength except with Allah. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم that the most disabled people are those who are unable to make dua. وأبخل الناس من بخل بالسلام. And the most stingy people are those who are stingy with giving the salams. Those who are stingy with giving the salams. Sometimes you walk in a masjid or a store and the proprietor is a Muslim. You walk and say, Assalamu alaikum. They look up to see if they know you, and they know if they don't know you, they don't even respond to the salam. What is this? What is this? So the salam. And this is from the signs of the day of judgment. That yakuna salam bil khas, that people will only give the greeting to people that they know. This is one of the signs of the day of judgment. Prophet said, when the hour is near, people will only give the salam. These are Muslims. They will only give the salams to people that they know. You see this, when I was in Turkey, it happened. I walk in the masjid in Turkey. Assalamu alaikum. The people, I was there late for the salat, people coming outside, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. There's brothers in there praying, and they looked and everybody turned around. They didn't just automatically respond to the salam. Everybody turned around and looked. And when they noticed they didn't know, no one knew me, nobody returned the salam. So in one aspect, it hurts. On another aspect, it increases your iman. The Prophet said this, I was going to happen. SubhanAllah. Here it is, I'm in a Muslim country, walking into a masjid. I'm not walking into a mall. I'm walking into the masjid, full of Muslims. They just prayed the same salat, facing the same qibla. Assalamu alaikum. Oh no, you know, to the Muslims. Abkhal al-nas. He said, the most stingy people, Abkhal al-nas man bakhila bis-salam. The most stingy people are those who are stingy with giving the salams. Walafd Abdullah ibn Mughaffal radiallahu anhu marfu'a a'jazu al-nas. And the wording of Abdullah ibn Mughaffal is the most stingy people, man ajaza fi du'a. I mean, the most disabled people are those who are unable to make supplication. Wa abkhalu nas, and the most stingy people. Man bakhila bis salam, those who are stingy with the salams.
When you said most handicapped, like,
yeah, for a person, imagine, look at the rest of the limbs on your body, your arms, your leg, your neck, your eyes, eyelids, all of that. Look at the limbs on your body. So if you weren't unable to move it, or you moved it with difficulty, this would be considered a disability. But what is more of a disability is a person being unable, while having the ability, to move the lightest muscle in his body, the tongue. It's the lightest muscle. And the person is not a mute. He actually has the ability to speak, but yet his iman, his faith, does not carry him to respond to his brother. Assalamu alaikum. Doesn't return the salam. What is the problem? What's stopping him? So this is stingy. This is the most stingy person, the person that won't even return the salam to you. So you can forget about the rest of brotherhood. The rights of the Muslim are 6. And from those 6 rights of the Muslim upon another Muslim is to return the salam as we give the salam. It's the right of the Muslim. SubhanAllah. So this is a person with a real disability. You can't even give salam. So you can forget about helping you. You can forget about giving you good advice. You can forget about everything else if a person can't even give you the salams. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you wanted to go to Jannah, I'll give you advice. If you want to go to Jannah, he said, Afshu salam. Spread the salam. وَأَطْعِمِ الطَّعَامِ. And feed the people. وَصَلِّ وَنَاسْ نِيَامٍ. And pray while everybody else is sleeping. تَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ بِالسَّلَامِ. That you will enter into Jannah peacefully. Afshu salam. Spread the greeting. أَطْعِمِ الطَّعَامِ. Feed the people. وَصَلِّ وَنَاسْ نِيَامٍ. And pray while everybody sleeps. تدخل الجنة بالسلام. You'll enter Jannah in peace. Now, Allah Ta'ala said in Surah An-Nisa, وَإِذَا حُيِّيتُم بِتَحِيَّةٍ فَحِيُّوا بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا أَوْ رُدُّوهَا. Allah said, and if you are given a greeting, then greet with a greeting that is better than it, or at the very least respond with the same greeting. SubhanAllah. Al-Ishara. And the second benefit is al-ishara ila ahamiyat al-tawheed alladhi huwa da'wat jami' al-rusul. So in this is an indication to the importance of tawheed, which is the singling out Allah with all acts of worship, and it is the call of all of the messengers. Number 3, al-ishara ila al-isti'ana billahi wahdahu. وتفويض الأمر إليه في قوله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. He said, and also it's pointing to seeking the aid of Allah and depending on him in every affair. In the statement that was mentioned in the dua, there's no might, power, or strength except with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is this? No. Nah. The salam is the right of a Muslim. This is the right of the Muslim. Nah. Nah. Number 4, الحث على الاجتهاد في الطاعة والإسراع المسير إلى الله، وذلك يتحقق إذا قام المسلم للصلاة ودعا بعد قوله هذا الذكر. نعم. He said it's also an encouragement of being diligent in acts of worship and rushing and racing to the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is actualized if a Muslim was to stand for the prayer and make this and call and make this supplication. قال أبو عبد الله الفبري الراوي عن البخاري. So Abdullah al-Fabri, the narrator in Bukhari, said, أجريت هذا الذكر على لساني عند انتباهي ثم نمت فأتاني آت أي في المنام فقرأ وهدوا إلى الطيب من القول وهدوا إلى الصراط الحميد. Subhanallah. He said that I began to practice this supplication. He said I began to practice this supplication while I was awake. And then I went to sleep. And then someone came to me in my sleep and said, and they were guided to good speech, and they were guided to a praiseworthy path. This is when he began practicing this dua. قال ابن بطال وعد الله على لسان نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم أن من استيقظ من نومه لهجا لسانه بالتوحيد والحمد والتسبيح والتسليم له بالعجز عن القدرة إلا بعونه أنه إذا داعه أجابه وإن صلى قبلت صلاته فينبغي لمن بلغه هذا الحديث أن يغتنم العمل به ويخلص النية لربه تعالى. Ibn Battal said, Allah Ta'ala promised upon the tongue of his prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whoever woke up from his sleep and he basically released his or applied his tongue to the words of Tawheed and praising Allah and glorifying Allah Ta'ala's praises and saying the taslim and all these types of dhikr, and admitting his inability or his lack of power except with Allah Ta'ala's aid. And then he called with this supplication, called on Allah with this supplication, that Allah will answer him. And if he prayed, that his prayer would be accepted. So it is very important that whoever this hadith reaches, that he seizes the opportunity to act according to it, and he purifies his intention for his Lord, the Most High. Number 7. تسوق بعد قول هذا الذكر كان أفضل لقول ابن عمر كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يتعرى من الليل لا يتعرى من الليل إلا أجر سواك على فيه. So he said, and if the person was to use the miswak after his statement of this dhikr, it will be بعد قول هذا الذكر. Yeah, now after saying this dhikr, it will be even better. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said, if I didn't find it difficult upon my ummah, I would have ordered them to use the miswak before every salah. So he said the person was to use the miswak, salat al-barakah miswak, after making this dhikr. It would be better for him because of the statement of Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, that the Prophet ﷺ never woke up or tossed and turned at night except he would grab the miswak and perform miswak with the miswak or brush his teeth with the miswak. Nah. Nah. So inshallah, we have another hadith coming. That was the end of that. The next hadith we're going to go to is Alhamdulillahi alladhi aafani fi jasadi wa radda alayya ruhi wa adhina li bi dhikrihi. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillahi alladhi aafani fi jasadi wa radda alayya ruhi wa adhina li bi dhikrihi. الحمد لله الذي عافاني في جسدي ورد علي روحي وأذن لي بذكره. Inshallah, next week. All praise is due to Allah, who has protected me in my body and returned to me my soul and permitted me to remember him. All praise is due to Allah, who has protected me in my body, who has returned to me my soul and permitted for me to remember him. Subhanallah. So we don't have the power to be in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except with Allah ta'ala's permission. And all we have to do is think about any time where we weren't in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, while we had the ability to do it, but we were heedless. Or we were busy with dunya. We were busy with things that were less than the dhikr of Allah while having the ability to be in the dhikr of Allah, but we didn't receive that guidance yet. So once the guidance comes, then we realize this is Allah's permission. He's permitting me to remember him. Look how many people he doesn't permit to say La ilaha illallah. Just look how many kuffar in the world. They don't say La ilaha illallah. Allah has not given them permission to his remembrance, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah, we'll stop here. If there's any statements or questions about anything that was said, we'll take them now. If not, then we'll end the class. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us sincere intentions, beneficial knowledge, righteous actions according to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.
What about that? Now, is it permissible to do the yoga like for not the
No, Muslims cannot do yoga. Yoga is haram. Yoga is haram. Yoga is haram. Yoga comes from acts of worship of the Hindus, Buddhists. It's haram. It has nothing to do. It's not exercise. It's ibadah. It's worship. Yoga is haram. The stretching, the meditation, the whole thing. It's a ritual. It's an act of ibadah according to those people that with that belief. The name of it, yoga. Just look up the name of it. It's according to their belief. According to their belief. And you know what's amazing? The Muslims are the richest poor people in the world. We're rich because we have the last revelation with the guidance in the explanation of the last prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we look for guidance and we look for aid and we look for understanding everywhere else. SubhanAllah. You would never catch those people saying that, I'm not a Muslim, but the movements they do in their prayer is really a good way to stretch. They don't follow our way. Adopting our fasting and except those who are actually interested in Islam. But they don't look for us for guidance. They don't look toward us for guidance. And they're misguided. But they don't look to us for guidance. But we keep looking at them and looking at what they're doing and quoting what they say. And that was a deep statement. And subhanAllah, how many hadith have you read? If you think that was deep, imagine if you would actually read the Sunnah and the statements of the Prophet ﷺ, the statement of the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, the Tabi'een. So we quote them and we post what they say and we just exalt them so much. And we have treasures. 6,200 ayah in the Quran. And brothers quoting, what's his name? Kevin Samuel. Brothers quoting a Jew, Ben Shapiro. Oh, Ben Shapiro said, well, names of Ben Shapiro. What's the guy? Peterson. What's the guy named now? He's also
John Peterson.
Yeah, John Peterson. We got Ibn Mas'ud. No, we got the Prophet ﷺ. Abu Bakr, Umar. I mean, if we were to read the statements of those men that were following the guidance of revelation, you will find treasures of knowledge that deal with everyday affairs that we deal with, whether it be regarding finance, whether it be regarding agriculture, whether it be very profound statements in all of these issues. But we are rich, poor people because we keep looking outside of what we have. It's an Arab proverb. It says, "Anta ka he said when somebody befriends the neighbor but treats his own brother or relatives as an enemy. He said, "Anta ka qara tamid lil kharij." He says, you're like a pumpkin. See, you're like a pumpkin. You grow away from your roots. So it's like we keep looking to these, but these people are waiting for us to guide them. They don't have guidance. They're waiting for us. The people that are doing yoga are for waiting us to teach them duha. But we're too busy following them in yoga. They wait for us to teach them dhikr. They should be talking about no. What are you going to do? You're going to trade in? Because some people apostated after practicing yoga and they kept going into it. They started getting in there. Oh, they say some good things. And what did Imam Ash-Shatibi say in Al-I'tisam about bid'ah? He said, "Lo kanat batilun mahdha ma qubilat." If it was complete falsehood, it would never been accepted. Of course, they have some truth. Of course, they have some truth. Yeah, no, of course. What our argument is not, no, everything they say is 100% complete falsehood, all complete, total evil. No, because truth comes from two things. And both of them are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Truth either comes from revelation or fitrah. And everybody has their fitrah. So sometimes they're going to strike the mark. Of course, they're going to strike the mark and say the haqq sometimes. Why? Because Allah created them and they have the fitrah in them. So they're going to have to agree with the fitrah. Against their own, people are going to submit willingly or unwillingly. So when you see somebody that's upon falsehood speak the truth, Allah Ta'ala has forced him to acknowledge his oneness in him speaking the truth. That's an agreement with revelation. And then when he goes against it, it's because of ignorance and obstinance and rebellion and other than that. So yeah, some of what they say is true. Our argument is not to make everything they say is false. Our argument is that we have the complete picture and the whole story. They have what? Part of the story and some of the picture. What are you going to do with somebody that had part of the story and some of the picture? What are you going to do with that? So when you have the complete story and the whole picture, you're the one that's supposed to be speaking to these people. We sit like this. We sit the same with the same leg folded the same way. Fingers, thumb on the fingers the same way. But we're saying, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. They saying, What is that? You're going to trade in Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah for What other sounds they make? What are they saying? What are they talking about? What are they doing? And in your inner self, you're calling on Allah. They're talking about reach deep in yourself and your strength and your ability. And what are you doing? How many people before were stronger than them, more intelligent than them, they lived longer than them, had more wealth than them, had more children, and they're gone? Allah said in Surah Al-Haqqa, فَهَلْ تَرَى لَهُم مِّن بَاقِيَةٍ? Do you see any of them remaining? So they're doing these things based on their belief. We shun that stuff. We stay away from it. It leads a person, everybody that I know, and people that I don't know that got into that stuff, sun gazing and vitamin D and meditating and every Muslim that I know or the person that attributed themselves to Islam got involved, they are kafir today. They're not Muslim today. Now, one brother I knew studied in Egypt. He was in Egypt the same time. His name was Isa Abu Isa. Right before Islam, his name was Christopher. Isa, I was warning him, messaging him. Now, him and another brother named Nafis from Philadelphia. Listen, you guys, what are you doing? This is incorrect. They were attributing it to the Prophet ﷺ. What are you saying, Hassan? You don't know what you're talking about. The Prophet used to meditate. You're lying. The Prophet never meditated. We just read that yesterday in Tafsir. The greatest sin is to lie about on Allah and His Messenger. I said, you're lying. They sent me the hadith. The Prophet, before the Prophet received revelation, Kana yatahannath. Yatahannath. He used to go into Ghar al-Hira or yatahannath. So they translated yatahannath. He would be in seclusion, in contemplation. They translated yatahannath, contemplation, as meditation. That was their translation, those two. And I warned them. And then the brother Isa Abu Isa, he left Islam first while still claiming Islam. I said, he's a kafir. Brothers were warned, you better be careful. You can't call a Muslim a kafir. And our brothers were telling me, well, I said, he's a kafir. I said, he's a kafir, and he's just hiding the fact that he's a kafir. And I told the brother Nafis, he's a kafir. And if you believe if you still believe what he believes and you're defending it, you're a kafir because you're defending kufr. Told him to his face. They argued. They did a video against me. The misunderstanding of our brother Hassan Abdul Rahman al-Amriki. And they did a video and everything like that. And I warned them. Until one day, what happened? Isa Abu Isa came out. He got busted on Instagram with the atheist. The atheist asked him, what is your religion? He said, I no longer follow organized religion. Brother Dawood sent me the screenshot. What do you make of this? I sent it to him and confronted him about it. He said, well, somebody must have hacked my account. Lying. Munafiq. Lying. Somebody must have hacked my account. Then he came out in public. He still had his thobe on with the turban on or with the kufi on, and then he came out after that wearing the Borsalini hat and like came out with that. And then he came out talking, and then what happened? They were talking about sun gazing, and the Prophet, they talk about how we have to have a connection to the earth. And the Prophet ﷺ can't get the hatta. Or get the hathi. He can't walk, he used to walk barefoot sometimes. He used to advise walking barefoot sometimes. But these kuffar, they say, because you're from the earth, you should walk barefoot because that rejuvenates your energy because you have to, they put some aqidah with it. They said, oh, the Prophet ﷺ used to walk barefoot to ground himself. They attribute to the Messenger of Allah. Isa Abu Isa and Nafis. I warned him over and over again. This is kufr, y'all kuffar. Then Isa came out and said he was kafir. Finally came out and said it. Changed his name from, look at the beautiful name, Isa, after a prophet. Abu Isa, you know what he calls himself now? Traveling bear. Also traveling bear. I'm indigenous. Now he think he's from Native America. What did we say about Native Americans the other day? Now he's Native American, he's indigenous, and he's speaking some weird language now, hopa, when he gets on, instead of saying, Assalamu, look, words, real words. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He gave up the salam for hopa, my people, and then he does videos, and it's a kafir. Started with the same thing, delving into those affairs. 6,200 verses. You got time to read about sun gazing and yoga and meditation and all of that. You got the 5 salawat. How deep have we studied the 5 salawat? We have being able to tell the times of salat by looking at the sun and knowing the way. Being able to tell every month changing by the lunar calendar, by the crescent appearing and like that. Have we studied everything that we need to understand our religion and how we look at things? We're studying all of these other people's philosophies and ideologies, and we have so much in Islam that we haven't studied. So much in Islam we haven't studied.
We only give ourselves a chance to even
understand these. Yeah. When people come, they have doubts like, okay, I mean, Because they said this and that. How much Quran do you know? You're leaving yourself open for doubt, but because you're not speaking to the Quran. How much Quran do you know? Of course you have doubts. You need to learn more and more Quran, because the more Quran you know, the firmer you're going to be. You're going to have an answer. Allah Ta'ala answered every kind of disbelief. Every kind of disbelief that tries to challenge Tawheed, Islam, the answer is in the Quran. The answer is in the Quran. You'll find every refutation for every form of disbelief. I don't care if it's Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Rastafarianism. I don't care what ism it is. The answer and the refutation to that is in the Quran. La ilaha illallah. It's going to be in the Quran. But we don't read enough of our book to even begin to delve into somebody else's books and ideologies. It's dangerous. And especially for us Muslims who were in kufr and then accepted Islam. So it's like years and years of kufr indoctrination you have to get out of yourself. So you already were raised on their belief. So you get a little bit of Islam and then start reading into that again. You were raised on it. You need to learn more about Islam. Learn more about Islam. Even when I give dawah to kuffar. And he said, no, I know about Muslims and like that. I said, no, but have you ever read the book of the Muslim, the Quran? Okay, don't read it, become a Muslim. Read it so at least you know why you're not a Muslim. That's all. Read it so at least you know why you're not a Muslim. Because nobody can read the Quran sincerely seeking guidance and still be a kafir, except that Allah Ta'ala knows something about this individual, and Allah knows everything, that he chose not to guide this individual. But somebody reads the Quran in the language that they understand and with the meaning, the correct meaning of the Quran, and still say, no, I can't see me being a Muslim. That doesn't make sense. No, this is arrogance and denial. But no, that's not. And I'm only really going into it because there are people, Muslims, leaving Islam. They put yoga and sun gazing and grounding themselves and energy. Be careful, all these new terminologies coming out. Yeah, I didn't like his energy. What do you mean? What's energy? What's going on? Energy. What's this? His attitude, his behavior, his manners. What's energy? I didn't like his energy. What are you talking about? Did you feel his energy? What is this? This is a deity they believe in, an energy, a deity. It makes the person his own Lord, his own God. This is from my studies in Zen Buddhism. This is Zen Buddhism. You believe in energy, your energy, and how you can, and our brothers better watch out for studying Tai Chi and all of that, all this energy stuff. Nah.
Is it the same, almost the same thing like I think Saturday you said, like a Muslim can't date a woman who says she's spiritual, or marry a woman who says she's
spiritual. Can't marry a woman who says she's spiritual. She doesn't have a religion. What do you mean spiritual? What's your book? We marry women that have a book. Jewish women, Christian women, and best and most important is Muslim women. Women that have a book. They have rules. I was looking at some stuff that was popping up on the internet. You know how you get pulled into that nonsense. And it was like relationship issues that the kuffar go through. And I just watched, I don't know, about 20 minutes of it. And they were debating back and forth. It was a group of guys and the girls, and they were debating back and forth. And I just said, wow, alhamdulillah for Islam. Because when you look at the issues that the kuffar go through in relationship, when it comes to marriage, or well, most of them, they ain't get married anyway. But you look at their relationship issues, is that they don't have a book that tells them what's right and wrong. We're not saying that we're not going to be wrong sometimes and that everything we're going to do is perfect, but at least we have a book that tells us who's wrong when things go wrong. That says, no, the woman should have been doing this, or the man should have been doing this, or both of them should have been doing that. We have a book that tells us. But them, when they go through their conflict and their relationship issues and like that, how can you tell somebody, how can they tell one that the other one is wrong? How? They have so much game they play. When the man is supposed to be al-qawwam, as Allah said in the Quran, he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the authority. What do they say? Narcissistic. So they strip a man of his manhood by these terminologies, narcissistic. When a man is supposed to have the obligatory jealousy, the ghira, the obligatory jealousy, what do they say? Insecure. They strip a man of his fitra using these terminologies, insecure, narcissistic, and all these other statements that they use in order to stop us from being upon our fitra. And we listen to them and don't listen to the Quran. Yeah, that's another one. Abu Rome said vibes. Yeah, vibes, energy, and all that. What are you talking about? Vibes and energy and all of this stuff.
What about love language?
Love language?
What's that? My love
It-
language is this or such and such.
It's acceptable. That's acceptable. That's different. You know, that's different. Basically, the way someone expresses their emotion through tangible actions, right? And like that. And this is important. This is something that we could get into as Muslims, meaning explain how Islam deals with this. The Prophet ﷺ he left all of this. It's there. There are books. I have one book in my house. None of my children that didn't reach puberty can read this book, but my son Yusuf had 600 pages about Imam Suyuti. 600 pages. And I'm working on a compilation between this book and another book by Ibn al-Qayyim and another book by Ibn Taymiyyah. But this book talks about love language. The name of the book is Fannu Nikah, The Art of Making Love, by our scholars. Talks about everything concerning relationships, emotion, physicality, attraction. All of our scholars talked about it, but we're too busy looking at other people. So I wanted to take excerpts from all of these books and compile what is, the art that the Prophet taught the Sahaba. Don't follow your wife like a what? Like a beast. Like a beast just mating. The mating season comes and beast, the dog grabbed the female dog, jump on her back. He said, don't follow your wife like a beast. Send her a message first. The Prophet taught, excuse the expression, the Prophet taught foreplay. This is from our deen. Our mother explained. If you look at it in the book of Tahar and Sahih Muslim and other than that, she explained that when it came to the menses, that the Prophet ﷺ, if his wife's menses were on, he used to tell us and to tell us to wrap ourselves up, and he used to join every part of his wife's body except for the area where she was bleeding. Come on, this is our deen is complete, complete. Inna Allah la yastahi min al-haq. Allah is not shy of the truth. He told us everything. What hand to use when using the bathroom, what foot to use while going into the bathroom. Our deen is complete. What are we looking for? What are we looking for? Beautify herself. When a woman asks about, what should she wear and how should she dress, she asked our mother Aisha radiallahu anha, what should I wear and how should I dress and should I change my hair? Should I do this? She was about to get married. Aisha radiallahu anha, her mother, gave her a dress, said you should wear this, you should wear something new because you're about to get married and like that. She said, well, what should I change in myself? She said, if you could change, and this is, for me, is an evidence against the fatwa that says it's not permissible for women to use contacts, colorful contacts, right? Now, if it's going outside and revealing them, that's different. But to beautify themselves, is permissible. Why? Because the principle in the Sharia, وَالْأَصْلُ فِي عَادَاتِنَا إِبَاحَةً حَتَّى يَجِيرُ صَرَفُ الْإِبَاحَةِ. Some scholars say it's haram. Because it says that the origin in our practices and customs is that they are all permissible until there comes an evidence to make them impermissible. Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. It is He who created everything on the earth for you. So the only time you can make something on the earth haram is with the text that says it's haram. So now when someone's got to say today, and of course it's a modern issue, is it permissible for a woman to wear contacts and like that? Some scholars say it's impermissible. Some say it's impermissible with conditions, meaning that if a woman is going to meet a man for marriage, she's going to have a sit down with this man for marriage, she should not be wearing these contacts to make the man believe that her eyes are other than the color that it is, right? No, she goes with a regular. Now she's his wife. She's in his home. Okay. Then she wants to change her look for her husband and look beautiful. Okay, she can change. She can have blue eyes, green eyes, and do all of that stuff. And it's deep. Why? Because our mother radiallahu anha said that when the woman was asked what should she do to beautify herself, what should a woman do to beautify herself or her husband? She said, if you are able to change the pupils of your eyes, do it. SubhanAllah. No context existed, but this is called mubalagha, sigatul mubalagha. This is called an extreme emphasis of the feats that a woman should go to in order to make herself attractive to her husband. She said, if you could change your pupils, مغلة العينيك إذا استطاعت أن تغير مغلة عينيها تفعل. If she could change the pupils of her eyes, she should do it. This is evidence. So the woman dresses up, beautifies herself. The man beautifies himself for his wife. Dresses up, makes herself look good for. This is all in our deen. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said what? I like to, أحب أن أتزين لزوجتي كما أحب أن تتزين لي. I like to beautify for myself, for my wife, just like I like her to beautify herself for me. Nah. So our deen is complete. Our deen is complete, but we just have to know it. It's here. It's in our books. I'm talking about very, very serious detail. We got two things to do. Either the brothers that know Arabic have to work very hard in trying to translate it to make it available, or the brothers and sisters, or the brothers and sisters that don't know Arabic have to strive very hard to learn Arabic in order to get access to these things. Because it's available. Everything you want to know, decorating the house and this and that, and the food and preparing the food, and the man coming up. The Prophet ﷺ told the man if he goes on a journey, what? When he gets home, he comes from another country, another town. When he gets home, he should go to his local masjid, pray 2 rak'at, and send a message that he's arrived, so that the woman who was sitting around, had cleaned her, so she can clean her stuff up, and the one didn't comb her hair, she can get her hair straight. Up.
Yeah, I remember when Paula was saying that why did they don't come at night?
Yeah, don't. That's another barakallah fi. Yeah, he said shouldn't arrive at night. Should arrive by the day.
Why is that?
All of these things. Because, you arrive at night, you're going to be asleep. Right? You're coming from a journey, so you're going to be what? In need. Food, this, that. So now you're waking her up from sleep to get all these things done.
Well, what about when you had children there too? Like starting them?
All of these are benefits that can be extracted from that. But look at this advice that's based on revelation. How to behave. So we have so much to learn about how to behave Islamically that gives us so much detail. Could you imagine how it would be just in these issues of how to come home, how to leave home, when to travel, how long to stay away, all of the, if we really implemented this, how harmonious our lives would be. If we get into brotherhood and how to eat and eat from what's in front of you, and we eat from the same bowl and all of that, could you imagine how our hearts would be? If we lined up in the salat, like the Prophet told us, he said it affected our hearts. All of these things that we're affected by because we're doing the opposite. We're doing the opposite. You'll find some Muslims praising kuffar. Sister asked a tough one. She said, what about wearing fake eyelashes? Fake hair is impermissible. Fake hair is impermissible. And even in the hadith that speaks about fake hair, it doesn't even mention the head. It just says hair. Right? It doesn't even say hair, as a matter of fact. It says connect. La'an Allah, the curse of Allah, ala al-wasila wa mustawsila. The curse of Allah is on the wasila, the one that connects their hair, wa mustawsila, and the one that asks for the hair to be connected. So it's general, anything being connected like that. And in reality, I saw, this is a profound statement. I know I just said about quoting the kuffar, but this is about a recent incident. A Kafir guy, he said a profound statement. He said the women with the eyelashes and the heavy makeup and like that, they are looking like transsexuals. They're starting to look like cross-dressers. A normal woman years ago didn't dress like that. They didn't wear the fake eyelashes. They didn't wear wigs. They didn't wear elderly women. But young women didn't wear wigs. You'd be laughed at. And it didn't matter how short her hair was, whatever. Young girls didn't wear wigs. They didn't wear fake eyelashes. You only see really old women or cross-dressers. But look what he said. He said, but the issue is that there are so many men that has become homosexual or undercover homosexuals, and the women are seeing that the men are attracted to these transsexuals and these homosexuals and these cross-dressers. So the women are now not competing with women. They're competing for their men with transsexuals. The transsexuals are attracting the men. Men are sleeping with homosexuals that are dressed like women. So now women are dressing like those homosexual men in order to get their men back. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. The women are not competing with each other anymore. They're competing with homosexuals. La ilaha illallah. And this is true. This is really what's going on. When did women begin wearing all of this? Like women were natural. They put a little lipstick on, a little eyeliner, but the thick this and that. Homosexuals, men, they're the one that had to get fake buttocks. The women had their normal body, whether she was flat, built, whatever. She had her regular body. Only homosexual men were going to get lips fattened, and women are getting breasts. You already had breasts. Whether small or not, you had breasts. But women are getting breasts competing with those homosexuals. The homosexuals, they're getting breasts put in, they're getting butts put on. Now, women that are born feminine with breasts, with all, they're competing with these homosexuals. SubhanAllah. It's amazing. It's amazing. So now a woman can adorn herself with makeup and clothing and things like that, but attaching false hair, and even the fatwa that says it's permissible to use, if as long as it's not the color of the hair and it's not actually human hair, you have fatwa that say that's permissible. That's not permissible. This is very close to what the children of Israel did when Allah prohibited them to fish on Saturday. So they left the net in the water on Friday and took it out on Sunday. It's the same game. Oh no, it's not hair. It's yarn. It's material. It's this, it's that, and it's not the same color as the hair. And they sold this stuff in. This is not new. When Muawiyah radiallahu anhu was the Khalifa, he came to visit Medina, and his wives were with the women. And one of his wives came to him and said, "This is what the women are putting in their hair." He took this. He said, "What are they doing?" And she explained that the women are tying material into their hair to lengthen it. He got on the Prophet's minbar, the Prophet's masjid, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan radiallahu anhu, and he held it up and he said, "Ya Ahla Medina, ayna ulama'ukum?" He said, "Oh, people of Medina, where are your scholars?" And he rebuked them for the women putting this material into their hair. So it's not new. It's not new. The yarn, this, that's not new. No. So we'll stop here. You know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the fact that we are the ones with the guidance. And that we begin to benefit and understand that we are the ones with the guidance and follow it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cause us to live and die upon Islam. Ameen. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Ameen wa jazak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.